Hello, good morning, and welcome to today's BIM ZERO event. Today's topic is what are stakeholders and what is collaborative culture. I am your host, Daniel Monteiro, and joining me is José Carlos Lima. Hello, José Carlos Lima.
Hi, Daniel. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. So this event is developed by BIM Freelance and sponsored by BIM Week and BIM Campus. Today's speaker is an engineer and professor at University of Minho. He's also the founder of Newton and co-founder and partners of BIMS. He's also the CEO of Nosso BIM, an academic director of International Master BIM Manager in Portuguese, and also a member of Infraroom and Building Smart International. So I would like to thank you, everyone that is watching, and thank you especially to our speaker, José Carlos Lim. And we'll start right away with me asking you the question, what is the concept of stakeholders?
Thank you, Daniel. And today, dual theme about stakeholders and collaborative culture is so important. And what is this concept of stakeholders, as you are asking? Well, stakeholders are all those actors we will have a relationship with the project in all the phases of the life cycle of this asset, okay? So we are talking about the design, the construction phase, the operation and maintenance, and eventually the demolition, okay? So all the actors involved are stakeholders, people that have interest in that project. And these people with an interest in this project in a certain way may affect or be affected by the results of the project. Those are, that is the concept of stakeholder.
And who are these actors? Or better saying, what roles do these agents have?
Well, just to put some names in these actors, they are, of course, direct actors related or interested in the project, like the owner, the designers, the contractors, the operators, and ultimately the users. So people who have direct interest. There are lots of others that are less directly interested in this project, but could be also linked with it, like the licensing authorities, the investors, the project managers, so the product suppliers. So all people that is surrounding this ecosystem of actors are also involved. Each one of these actors, each one of these stakeholders represents a ring in a value chain, okay? They are adding value, they are adding quality to the overall project, and it is so important. Nowadays, we are changing our concept of stakeholders, understanding that a good IECO industry project impacts much more than the stakeholders directly involved with them. So the impact could be to the whole society. So we start to see the whole society as a stakeholder as well. So saying that is someone that will be affected or will affect the result of this project and will take profit from the existence of this project.
Okay, and are the collaborative roles of the stakeholders the same?
Well, do you mean the collaborative roles of these stakeholders the same that we have already spoke in other BIM Zeros? Yes, like editor, reviewer, observer. Yes, they are. So when we are running through our industry, we tend to assume a position of authoring or reviewing or observer contributing. So yes, and very much they are. Their contribution in a certain way is when it is less related to the production itself, but we are speaking with the team structures that constitutes an ecosystem of stakeholders. We might speak about other type of roles, leading roles, productive roles, supportive roles, or eventual innovative roles, so roles that create innovation in this process. This type of organization of roles might be temporary throughout the project and absolutely needs to be related with each one's personality, because you can choose someone without a leading personality for a leading role. So you can, but you might have you might not have the best results. So yes, these are the collaborative roles that we may find among the stakeholders for a project.
How is this relationship established?
The relationship among stakeholders is a relationship of dependency on each other, okay? We are speaking about team effort towards a common goal. One important thing for this relationship to be established is a communication system that should avoid overlaps and of responsibilities and overlaps of tasks. Everyone needs to know where they fit, what they should do, okay? And of course, this relationship to be established needs transparency and trust, which is absolutely a must to achieve the intended common results.
And does that relationship change throughout the life cycle?
Essentially, this relationship remains throughout the whole life cycle of the project, remains based on trust, transparency, interdependency, and rely on each other towards a common goal. So this is the base and doesn't change either if you are on design phase or on construction or on operation phase. What changes are the actors that are involved, the stakeholders that are being called in each one of these phases. They are changing, teams are changing. So this relationship should be adapted to each one profiles, to each one partial goals, because throughout this life cycle, we are having partial goals to achieve the best for our project. In fact, we are for this relation to be sane, we need to speak about integration in the team, integration in this of these stakeholders in the whole project. And integration is very hard because we need to put our individuality in second place over the collective goal and the collective intentions, let's say. And this is the keen touch for us to understand that relationships among stakeholders should be sane and should be profitable in a way that will result in a better project. Okay.
Okay. Now, during the initial phases of design and construction, what is this relationship like, and how is it established?
Okay. About the design phase, lots of times you are speaking, or we are speaking about teams that are used to work together, and collaboration becomes easier, okay? The stakeholders are used to the processes, to the procedures, So the relation with the client becomes easy because we usually have a project manager or someone that leads this relation with the owner. So I think that this relationship among stakeholders between on the design phase is very interesting. And also in the design phase, we are speaking in a phase of the dreams where we are starting a dream. We're starting to try with very nice intentions and energy. We try to achieve some goals, okay? Then when we pass to construction and later on to operation, when we pass to construction, we are downsizing on the pyramid of our strategy. We are coming for a more operational phase, and it is very important to increase the communication to allow trust to be the key among all. Everyone knows who is doing what, who is speaking with whom, who is interchanging information with whom. So the relationship remains based on same principles that we have already spoke, but because of the change of type of task that we are speaking on these different phases, of course, the relationship changes. All of this in the relational contracts like IPD that we have already spoke a little bit, and we will speak in further about it in next BIM Zeros. The relationship should be equal and frank from the beginning, where all the stakeholders, all the actors are interchanging, are being part of this process from the very beginning, and it is so important. Okay.
Okay, you also mentioned the operations phase. What's the relationship like during that phase?
Yeah, during that phase, it's very interesting because in design and construction, we have this type of inner actors for the project, professional ones, okay? In the operation phase, usually we have the users there as well. And the users bring clarity for the final code and for the need of creating a sane relationship and communication. And of course, all people that is involved in the operations and in the maintenance are there as well, trying to make this asset be more efficient, be more valuable, and achieve the goals that is intended to achieve. Okay.
Okay, now onto the second section of the event about collaborative culture. First of all, what are the issues that these actors, the actors on the collaborative culture, need to overpass in order to collaborate?
Yeah, a collaborative culture, as you mentioned, is the second half of this coin related with the stakeholders. We may have stakeholders, but we need to have a collaborative culture to glue all the relationship between them. So the issues that these actors need to overpass, mainly the main one, I suppose, or the main issue is the assumption that each one of us need to create about a, let's call it, collaborative attitude. Each one of us needs to understand that we need to be part of a collaborative environment. Okay. Seems easy, but it's not. So it's a mind process. The main issue, it's a mind process that needs to be reconstructed, rebuilt, and of course, there are minor issues that is the lack of trust, misunderstandings, and all of them usually are overpassed with the proper communication.
And how would you define collaborative culture?
Well, collaborative cultures is the understanding of each one of us that we are part of a team and that we are working for a common goal. And also the understanding that our participation as a collaborative team will generate more value and more quality for us and for the project than the sum of each one's participation individually. This is the definition of a collaborative culture.
So everything you showed us earlier in the BIM Zero series about value chain and incentive, is that the basis of collaborative culture?
Yeah, value chain and incentive that was discussed in previous BIM Zero absolutely is the basis of a collaborative culture, as you very well say. The incentive and the perception of value added by this chain of people people starts to perceive when the team starts to obtain results from this teamwork. That's when this collaborative culture starts to create roots, like a plant, like a tree, among all the stakeholders' environments. That's when they start to believe that this collaborative culture results. And it is there that the value chain and the incentive starts to have meaning, practical meaning.
Actually, picking up on that, does the collaborative culture, in terms we already know, does it generate value chain?
Absolutely. The value chain is a direct consequence of a collaborative culture. No doubt on that.
Okay. So do you think the ICO customers, owners, developers, investors, and funds understand the value of this collaborative culture?
I do. I do think that they do understand. But attention, understanding and adopting are two different things, okay? The particularities of our AECO industry often raises hurdles to a collaborative, transparent, and trustful environment. Anyway, when someone have a collaborative experience on a project and tastes the increase in efficiency and quality, so earnings in general, usually they don't want to do differently. That's the shifting point.
Now, we already know that the technology is available, but people seem to be slow to join the culture. Is it because they do not understand or do not perceive what is beneficial?
Well, the industry is usually slow in changing, okay? I won't consider that it's only because of a conservative attitude. Lots of times it is a risk management decision or is lack of knowledge or experience that is on the base of this slow adoption, okay? And ones may know that technology is there, as you say very well. We may have heard about relational contracts and collaborative culture, but until you experience it, you won't perceive it clear. So you need to experience it. So it's a see to believe circle. You will need to experience to know what it is. So it's not enough to understand that your perception will change. You will need to try it to adopt it.
Could it be that because the client does not ask for it, the industry does not move?
I think that that is a false perception. We should not forget that for the client, the see to believe experience also applies. The client knows, understands that the application of a collaborative culture in their projects will be better, but it has not experienced it yet. Nevertheless, we are having an increasing number of projects and clients demanding for a collaborative approach in their investments. So, and like any adoption, we are here talking about an exponential adoption. In the beginning, few are adopting, but then we are raising incredibly the number of projects of clients that are demanding this. And the first ones that will adopt this collaborative culture absolutely will better deal with the inevitable change and will be in advantage over their competitors. Either they are clients, either they are professionals delivering services or projects or products. Okay.
About innovation now, can it happen without people sharing the same collaborative culture, the same we have been talking?
Okay.
No?
No, innovation may happen all alone without a collaborative culture. Yes, it may, but it's not the best way of doing it. Innovation relies on sharing, on exchanging, on arguing and confronting with other visions, and none of these will succeed on a non-collaborative environment. So the day that you share your knowledge on the group is the day that the group understands the collaborative attitude and will return you in double what you have just gave to them. And all of this is towards a better result that you will never achieve all alone. So innovation, for sure, relies on a collaborative culture.
So those innovations that are only produced when everyone collaborates, right? Will they be produced or not?
No, of course not, because the innovation produced with the involvement of everyone is a collaborative innovation, okay? So when you are by your own, you may achieve individual innovation. That's not the case, but you will not have the exchanging points of view. You will not have the relying on others' opinion. You will not have the brainstormings. You will not have the Delphi's groups. You will not have so and so the peer revision. You will not have so and so and so many procedures that modern science relies on for ages. We are based, science is based in, the innovation is based in collaborative discussion and collaborative evolution of the solution for a problem.
Do you think this culture is being well spread in the industry, or are we spreading little, BIM?
Okay, about spreading and about the diffusion of this, we have lots to say, because in fact, we are needing to increase this diffusion of a collaborative culture. Indeed, you are right. We may have been facing a good dissemination on little BIM, the BIM of the software, the BIM of the practical task, okay, about modeling, about producing drawings, but we are lacking some publicity on good collaborative examples that are generating more value, more quality to the project. And we need to spread this, that's for sure.
And to the general public, all those who are related to ECHO in one way or another, do you think they know about it? Do you think they know it exists?
Unfortunately, the general public, as you call it, might understand that this collaborative work exists, but have scarce examples of how it may impact their lives and their quality of life. And I am absolutely sure that a project done under a collaborative culture will be a project that will impact the general public lives better than a project that is individually or traditionally developed.
What do you think is missing now to make it more, shall we say, popular?
I think that we need to share the good examples of collaborative culture. And that will be a popular dissemination. We need to disseminate cases that will give people and public, general public, the reality of how these projects will impact their own lives, okay? And we need to do this in plain language, easily, okay? That could be understandable and accessible by everyone. That is a must.
Okay, and now, how do you think the dissemination of this culture could be increased?
By example, by our example, by the good examples. And also on a 360 degrees approach, top down, from throughout the hierarchy structure, bottom up in the response and the demand, response to the demand from the users, and also horizontally or transversally within our peers, sharing and trusting towards a common goal. I think these are the basis for us to increase the dissemination of collaborative culture.
Very well. Well, for today, I think we've reached the half-hour mark. I think most about these topics have been talked about. So, thank you very much for being here with us and for sharing once again your knowledge on your huge knowledge on these topics. So, thank you for being here.
Thank you, Daniel. It was a pleasure to be with you, as always, and to share some of these important concepts that will impact all our lives and the lives of our professionals.
Thank you. Now, for all those who are watching, I will remember you that the next Thursday, we will continue this series with the topic of IPT contracts and single purpose entity. And I will also remind you that you can always visit the page edu.bimfreelance.com in order to see the next events and follow us on social media for more updates, for more news and developments about the events. So I think that's all for now. Thank you again, José Carlos Lino, for being here with us.
Thank you,
and I will see you